What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the third episode of A Coffee with Nick. I can't believe it. It's already been a week since the last episode. Before we know it, I'll be answering people's questions about the best way to advertise during holiday sales. I know a year seems like it's flying by. I'm super excited to be here as always. I got my plants around me. I got the coffee. I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering right now, what is this delicious looking topping that's on top of Nick's coffee? Well, it is, in fact, a delicious topping. It is Cocoa Whip, essentially Cool Whip made out of coconut. I know. Freaking millennials make everything out of coconuts. But it's delicious, so try it out. I will plug them, and I'm not affiliated, so don't worry, I'm not just saying that so I can make cash off of them. We got some really good questions this episode. I am excited to do them. We do this on Facebook, Instagram TV, and YouTube weekly. This is a weekly series that I do where I answer your questions that you have about digital marketing or advertising. If you'd like to ask some questions, please hit me in the DMs at Nick Liupa on Instagram or find me on Facebook at Nick Liupa. If you love this video, you love this series, don't be afraid to tag a friend who might find this beneficial. We got a lot to cover today, so let's get right into it. And I'm starting to feel comfortable doing these. Okay, so yes, Jose asks, how do you determine charging someone for social media marketing help? It could be hard. It's always hard to talk about money with people. I think it's always better to have a relationship with somebody and, be able to charge them multiple times for a service or for different services than it is to get as much out of them as you can on the first interaction, the first time that you sell something to them. Now, I think sometimes too many people think they should be paid for what they're doing. I should be paid for everything. I should be paid for every bit of information that I give somebody. I'm not giving out anything for free. That's definitely the wrong point of view to have, because the more you give people, then the more you'll get in return. Obviously, that's the way of life. The more you give, the more you will receive. I think it says that in the good book. Don't always be trying to charge people for everything. Think about your situation. Do you really need the money right now? Can you afford to give this person a bit of information for free, or to help this person for free for a month and then charge on the next month? You could always work out deals like that. You can say, okay, I do consulting for $50 an hour. I'll meet with you for the first 30 minutes just so I know what I'm talking about. And if I don't provide enough value within that 30 minutes for you to hire me for another hour, then that's fine with me. You know what I mean? You can do free trials. You can do all sorts of things. So I think that a lot of us think that we should be paid for everything that we do. And I don't think that's the right mindset to have. I think you should be thinking about how you can help people the most, because the more you help people, the more you can build your portfolio, and the more people get to know you, the more trust you can build, the more relationships you can start with those people, and then, offer them your service or offer them your product. We could also be caught in the trap of always doing something for free, right? You did it for free the first time. Can you help me out again? Sometimes we get caught in the trap of always answering people's questions, and you don't want to continuously do work for free because, your time is worth money. So I think the way to break that, I think some of the best really pricing advice that I ever heard came from Daniela or Nani, who's kind of in the fashion influencer space. And my wife told me this after she heard her say it at a blogger event. What she said was, you should at least charge something for your services. Why? Because if somebody pays you $1 for your social media marketing services, then the next time that they come in contact with you and they want your help, it'll be easier to charge them $5 or $10 or your full price, because they've already paid, you something. You can always think about that too. You can always start off your pricing at something very minimal, just so, you do have some sort of leg to stand on when you go and ask for a full price for your services. I get it. Pricing and money is always a hard conversation to have. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and your portfolio will be built, and people will want and be willing to pay you whatever it is that you're asking for your services, because they see that it's worth it. And that's the whole thing. So if you're going to do something for free, I think you should always think about how you can maximize that on your end. You know, if you're doing a free service for somebody, then you should be recording that, you should be documenting that, you should be creating content around that, you should be asking for testimonials, you should be doing as much as you can to kind of use that free service, that pro bono work that you're doing to your benefit. I hope that answered your question. Catherine Figueroa, she is a photographer. She does all the pictures for me. She's my photographer. That means you can't have her. No, I'm just kidding. She's a great friend and she's a great photographer. You can hit her up on Instagram. Go check out her work. Okay, so she says, I need help with my feed. How can you create a visually enticing feed for Instagram, but keeping it still open for relatable posting and flexibility with environments? So this is something that a lot of people struggle with, I think, and I'm definitely no master at it, but I do have some tips and tricks to help you achieve that, Kat. So essentially she's talking about your grid on your Instagram when you do like an overview of a person's profile and you can see all their pictures. She's asking how she can manipulate her grid to be relevant, you know, at the time that she's actually taking pictures, to be posting things like that, and to keep it in a style that matches what she's doing, that also looks visually appealing and has her aesthetic. So there's a few things that you can do, you know. Really, in order to achieve consistency, you're gonna need some sort of database or backlog of images or of content, because if you're just planning on taking pictures or making videos and editing and all the stuff that you have to do each and every day, you're not going to make it more than a week, because too many things are going on for you to take the time to post to Instagram, post to Facebook, post stories that same day. I would suggest having at least a week in order to stay consistent and in order to keep my feed kind of in check and with an aesthetic that I think looks good. So Kat had a good point though. You don't want to always have backdated and pre-scheduled content going out, because your feed and your content is going to lose that luster of currency. Is that the right word? It's going to lose that money. No, it's going to lose that money effect, right? It's going to lose that right now, here and now luster and that appeal. So when you have that backdated and scheduled content, at least you know that things are going to be going out no matter what you're doing. But you also want to combine that with stuff that you're posting like right now, because if she does a photo shoot that she's super happy with and that she loves, she's doing behind the scenes images, you know, for her story, and she really loves it, she wants to post it right now, then she can go ahead and post that, right? When you're planning out your grid, you can use a few different tools. For Instagram, Preview or Mosaic are two tools that you can use that kind of let you plan out your grid, and you can see which pictures fit better. You know, you can swap it out. This one's good here, this one's good here. Now, I think if you're a photographer, you know, you're going to have some sort of aesthetic. All your images essentially are going to pretty much have the same sort of style to them. So I don't think that you have to focus too much on backgrounds, as she says, you know, keeping a consistency with different backgrounds. I don't think that you have to focus too much on that. You don't always have to take pictures with green backgrounds. Even if you're taking a picture on a beach versus taking a picture in front of a barn, I think they're going to kind of have the same sort of appeal or same sort of style. Now you can kind of achieve that by editing the colors in your images to where they are similar. By saying that, I mean, you know, every time you see one of your images, your sky is kind of like a darker grayish color. You know what I'm saying? But the best way to achieve the consistency is to have a week of backdated content uploaded into Preview, planned out, so you know on this day I'm posting this pic, on this day I'm posting this pic. So I hope that answered your question. I hope that you kind of know now. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you for another dope episode of A Coffee with Nick. That's episode 3 in the books. Almost about to do a whole month of these bad boys. Going to come up on episode 4 next week. It's going to come around the corner and be here before we know it. Once again, if you have any questions, please hit me up on Instagram at Nick Liupa, or on Facebook, Nick Liupa Advertising. You can find me there. We do this every week on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. If you know anybody who can get some value out of hearing the information in this video, please go ahead and tag them below. Make sure that they check this out. I appreciate any shares, likes, or comments that are on this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your week.